What's going on, everybody? Goose out the 13th here with a overview of a recent suit that dropped with the anniversary, which is Char's Gelgoog. So this was actually a special token pack for the 10-year anniversary of Gundam Battle Operation as a whole. Some people are saying that this was supposedly in an early beta, and that you can actually get it in the RT shop as part of the test. And it was cut out for a long time and finally showed up here all these years later. That being said, it is a raid ground space. If we're looking at the weapons, and this is something that immediately sticks out, you can only use the beam rifle as your main gun. Enhanced Naginata at the very least for the melee, and it also has a different version for the single blade, which essentially acts more like a one-swing Gian sort of situation, at least in terms of the downswing. You'll see some of that when we get into the practice here. Never mind my horrendous build. But this is kind of interesting, mostly because you can definitely tell that this was supposed to be an older suit, something that would have been dropped a lot sooner. 450. That being said, the stats aren't the worst ever. Let's go down the line here. So 450 raid, ground and space, priority 3 with no particular compatibilities, because this is just a regular ass Gelgoog here, which is also interesting. It's not necessarily an early pro. But going in here, we have 17k HP, ballistic resistance 10, beam resistance 18, melee resistance 20, range strength 25, melee strength 28, movement speed 130, top speed is 210, thruster gauge is 65, and turning speed is 66. In terms of part slots, we have 13, 13, and 6 going down the line here. And looking at skills, we have Assault Booster 3, High Performance Balancer 1, High Spec Ambac 2, Maneuver Armor 2, Force Injector 2, Melee Combo Controller 2, Break Stance Mastery for the shield, Emergency Evasion System 2, Anti-Blast Stabilizer 1, Special Leg Buffer 1, and EX Boost, which is interesting that they ended up giving this to it. At the very least, and this is something else, we've been talking about for a long time having a ace version of the Zaku, just for Char's Zaku in particular, and if it did, I would assume it would also get EX boost. Most people, and you know, myself included at this point, have kind of just settled with the idea that the Zaku S is pretty much the closest we're ever gonna get to that, but you know, we just got Char's Gelgoog thrown in here, so maybe not. Overall, a little bit interesting if we look at the enhancement list here. Nothing super out of the ordinary. I think the bigger thing here is the cooling support system level 1, which is on the first unlockable. But going down here, we have +1 to melee, -3 to recovery time and thruster overheat, and shield HP as well as complex expansion. It's kind of crazy that you get this twice. Mostly because the last thing that I remember seeing thruster or cooling support system on was actually the new Gallus, the Shoe Zone Gallus, because it literally has like barely any boost on it at all, so you know. And then of course an extra chunk of melee modifier here at the very end. So let's go and take this into a practice real quick, and we will check this out. Alright, so right out of the gate, general output for this, not too bad. If we're looking at that downswing for the single blade, it is a Gan thrust here. Pretty nice, very chunky, as you just saw us do that combo on this. Still trying to get the strafing down a little bit myself. I feel like you can pretty much one and done one of these. One thing to note right off of the gate, that the other thing that it has is a grenade. The problem, of course, being that you don't have a stun right away without charging the rifle, and the interval on the grenade into the rifle, as far as I can tell, isn't quite enough to put things over. Actually, I'm gonna test out something else real quick, because, and I'm assuming this might be a little bit bugged depending on just like the throws. Not quite, yeah. So even using like another grenade in there, because the grenade, funny enough, it definitely feels like it might come out a little bit faster, but the animation itself for the grenades isn't cancelable, more so just you being able to boost out of the end of the grenade itself. But still, overall, really good output on this thing. Can't really argue with that too much. I will say though, if we're talking about scenarios of 450, this is not going to be a lot of the lineup that you're going to see. Also, here goes the extra boost thing, so you get a little bit of extra time to escape with this, and then if you roll out or tackle, it immediately cancels out your gauge, and you just go into a really long overheat time. So if anything, the cooldown time upgrades are definitely going to go towards shortening this time as well, because I'm assuming that's just something that factors into it overall. In fact, that kind of makes me wonder if parts would also help a little bit, but at this point, honestly, you're probably just going to put on the usual boost stuff and just kind of call it a day. That EX boost mode is mostly either for you to just make sure that you can close in on something that you're trying to pursue, or to just straight up run away. You know, so you do your hit, you get your support, and then you just pull on out of there. The other thing to keep an eye on here as we move our way over to the base is to see general output. So the rifle, although it does hit pretty decently, definitely nothing to write home about in terms of damaging the base. Don't expect to do anything super crazy with your melee either. But you can contribute at least a little bit, although honestly you're probably just going to be covering other people that can do it a lot better than yourself. Also, I don't really know how I feel about, since this is essentially just a regular ass Gelgoog, and it has the shield on the back. In fact, maybe that's just what it is specifically, because I think he just used to do it that way in the show. But yeah, I kind of wish it was an arm one, I'm gonna be honest. That being said, it does have the mastery, so you don't really have to worry about it fouling you up or anything like that. But this is one of those suits where it's like, it's definitely pretty neat. It's a cool one that we got. Outside of the usual stuff though, there's not a whole lot to say about this thing. I feel like this would have been a bit more discussable maybe if it actually did come out with the game, or around a more proper time where 450 was like a big deal. But maybe not even then. But it is a cool kind of like look back, especially for people who maybe knew about this in the early betas and stuff. This is probably very nostalgic for them. But I would assume for the most part, if not almost entirely, that is more of a JP experience than anything else. So we haven't unfortunately gotten a whole lot of matches with this thing, mostly because 450 doesn't really come on around the time that I'm up, but we did get some stuff early on when it first dropped, so I think I'm going to put in one of those matches in the background. Pardon the chatter in that one in particular, I'm pretty sure, because I think that was during the banner drop night itself, so some of the guys were in chat, and we'll be putting that in, if at all, right about here. The step was kind of rough, but at the very least they kept the Sinanju at the 7-step and didn't put it all the way to the 10th one.
Oh no!
I'm so
gonna
say.
Oh, white.
If you want the Shenanigans, stop at the Shenanigans. Don't go any further, because anniversary.
Well, about the half off.
The bull.
That's not even worth, because like anniversary is coming off soon. That's so weird that I can say that that's not worth.
Because that's gonna be that like the banner that shows up for anniversary for the list suits. It'll be on there.
2 step-ups in the anniversary banner anyways. They usually, I'm pretty sure that's how they're gonna do it. There's no way they're not going to.
It's hard to frontline with the new now with the Sinanju's out.
The new is not really supposed to be complete frontline.
Yeah, not completely, but it can't play as aggro as it used to.
Yeah, the Shenanigans is just gonna fuck it up. Shenanigans is gonna be a menace in general because it's really fun. It's a skill that makes it like break new armor, and it has
3 melee.
3 melees, and one of their melees is instant knockdown. So, no.
Super Stored Rebao.
I'm fine with it being this good, because like it gives me a challenge.
No. Oh god. That's a lot of people.
It's like kind of fighting like new, other than fucking just having not much to fight over Balu.
Oh, choose support!
No, avenge me, my Gelgoog brethren.
Oh, my leg. Oh my god.
Should be the true power of overtunes. I missed out on a lot of the overtune parts, unfortunately. I didn't really have the money to throw around for some of the bigger steps.
There's no dome, there's a Zaku Hyzak cannon.
Oh.
The guy fucking switched. God damn it.
The fake out.
The fake out is real. Well, he's being useless. He's not staying near his team.
God. So you know how there's like honey and shit like that? I'm pretty sure I walked by a honey, and because it's like HD in my ear, I literally freaked out because of the buzzing sound. Let's get the fuck out of me.
Oh. Somebody killed my charge. Yep. Not a great time to run out of my boost. Woo! Oh, that's not a really fun way to kill him.
Oh my god, the fucking Hyzak cannon is a bitch to deal with.
Yeah, I literally had no time to use the single blade.
This thing. There's so much there. Yeah, I can see why. Like. They didn't give it an instance of things.
Oh, you have to charge for the stun.
Yeah, no. It's because it has like. Oh my god. Alright, that works, I guess.
I could have. Oh my god, it was on me.
Dude, this is not great. So 4 and 5 got ousted.
Now tough ball.
You really need to drop on these guys though.
Give it another go.
I don't know what weapon I want to make. Let me go look at my switch skills. If I can. Okay.
That Barzone's gonna look at me though, 'cause I'm the closest one.
Reporting fire incoming.
Leave me alone, asshole. Oh my god.
Long range support fire incoming. We've lost an allied unit. Reporting fire complete.
Aw.
Reporting fire did some work. Go finish him off. We've lost an allied unit. Allied
Oh my god, your iframes are lasting too long, my guy. Holy fuck.
Hang on. Not damaged. You're fine. Don't worry.
Like, just let me do the thing and be done with it. Fuck.
Thank God you tried.
No, I missed. What the fuck? Okay.
Yeah, I'm literally just running this like a red Gelgoog. Like, I every once in a while I get to do the downswing with the single saber and that's it.
What? Oh, it's Striker.
Okay. I want to ask you something real quick. There's an E at the end of my name. Why is it not on there when you type it in? I noticed several people do that, and I don't really get why.
Gelgoog swings.
Like, it's not a misspelling when I put an E on it. It's because it's literally a character's name.
What weapon I want to make?
Shut up, Asian.
Staff of the Goose. Honk. Why? This latency is ass. What the fuck? Oh my
Oh
god.
god, my legs. I broke my ankles. Oh.
Did it get worse tonight? What the hell is happening?
Oh shit. 4 fucking hours for that.
I'm kind of not even wanting to play. Like, it was already bad latency for me. I keep wanting to say I'm wired with fiber optics, but that doesn't fucking matter. It's peer to peer.
Yep. It's all for naught, which is really unfortunate. Like,
very, very unfortunate. Here's hoping that if there's a GPU, you know.
Might as well go throw over my bed.
Okay, let's give it another
That's
try.
fair.
We've lost an allied unit.
Oh my god.
Explanation, I think, is like the majority of the time I see Gustav like written, it's like in the more German type where it just ends with the V.
Yeah. So the E is actually is that German?
Oh my
It's
god.
French. I found that out.
Up?
Which is weird because all of Saga Frontier 2, like the OST and everything, most of it is actually in German. But there's another character called I think it's Sielmer, and that's like literally just 2 French words put together. So it's just like European influence in general.
That Tarzan's colors is very strange.
Yeah. Oh, I thought he was gonna go into melee. He didn't. He still had his rifle up. Let me poke him. Let me poke him. Nah. I wanted to do it at least one more time. And then get it through. But yeah, not bad. I can definitely see what you were talking about earlier for it being a team suit. Like literally me and the other Gelgoog we're just kind of taking turns and like waiting out shit and then just going in there and slapping.
Yeah, you gotta rely on other people stunning, which would probably be very good for plans.
Because the downswing on this is
love
thick.
it.
Like if you just
I love
stack
it how-
a little bit more like melee on there and then make the rest tank, like you could probably still do some good stuff output wise. Alright, so hopefully that gives you at least a little bit of an idea. I will say when I was doing some of those early matches, the big thing that I realized, and this is more so probably something to do more with my own playstyle and stuff, I kind of had a hard time necessarily getting in to do the big chunky combos, you know, the downswings into downswings and all that other stuff. Most of the time I was just doing regular Gelgoog stuff, which still works, especially if you're doing your job and if you're just like chasing down the support. You know, the downswing on the enhanced Naginata is nothing to sneeze at. And if you really can get in there, you can just kind of chunk them like that. Like, it's a really good loop. It is a little bit of a shame that it's kind of hard to initiate things by itself without having either some help or just some very fortunate timing with the BR charge. But I'd say it's confident. There's definitely people that are out there trying to push this thing on occasion, although I will say once I'm lucky enough to get into another 450, I highly doubt we're going to see a super bunch of them. Mostly because, and this is one last thing, and maybe you guys can tell me your own experience with this. When I went to look on the PS5 client early on, I didn't see anything. The actual pack wasn't there. I actually had to switch clients. And for me, I think it was specifically me just switching to the PS4 client. Other people were saying it was just on the JP PS4 client. I don't know if it's been fixed since then, since I already had the pack and it's all in there. Most other people were saying that they just had to, you know, search it up on PSN and just kind of type it in and see if it came up. Let me know your own experiences with that, but I think that might have been just a general menu flub on the guys when they were actually releasing it themselves. But other than that, you know, kind of a cool addition. It's a little awkward that, like, they have this anniversary coming up for this franchise itself right before they're gonna do the usual big anniversary stuff for GBO2 specifically. So it really feels like this should have been the big celebration. But I guess, you know, they had to stagger it out a little bit. The big thing right now is that I think because it's anniversary range, they're not afraid to throw really big bait banners. And unfortunately, I haven't really gotten a lot of the banner suits personally to be able to talk about them. You know, having like demonstrations and all that stuff. And maybe you guys can let me know something about whether or not I should still maybe just do baseline discussion stuff and then maybe do runbacks, or just like late train discussion stuff about suits that I get retroactively. I've been thinking about doing that in particular, so let me know in the comments if that's something that would be worth trying to get into. But this has been the Char's Gelgoog. Definitely one that I'll probably run every once in a while. I don't know how often I would really do it in rated. It'd probably be more of a custom suit for me, but I would say outside of some of the more ridiculous stuff at 450, it is serviceable enough. If you're climbing though, unless you're super cracked at this thing, I wouldn't really recommend running around and rated too much with it, but still a neat addition. Hopefully we get more stuff like this in the future. I really wouldn't mind just like other ace variants and stuff, especially if there is perhaps some that were also cut out kind of like this until now. But that'll be all for now, so until then, this is Goose out of 13th. I will talk to you all next time.